You're not burned out, you're boxed in.
Executives aren't the doers, they're the guiders, they're the mentors, they're the leadership, they're the accountability.
Yes. Discover how stepping into a fractional executive role could be your way off the ride before it crashes.
Now, for my friends, our friends, the consultants of the world, who have been out for a decade, 5 years, 15 years, pounding the pavement. They've won contracts, won projects, gone in, done the project, and then off to the next project. Heck, even gone in, had to deal with people who didn't like the consultants because you just came in to change everything. They're now looking and saying, maybe I should become a fractional executive.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What's the mindset shift that they have to make?
Yeah. Yeah. What you described there is what I call the revenue roller coaster, right? The ups and the downs. And one of the benefits of being a fractional is you flatten that revenue curve out, right? I've been a consultant for 20 years. I've been a fractional for probably 13 or 14 years, and they work very well together with the same person in the same business. So it's not an either or, it can be an and, but it's a completely different way we approach our clients. So let's do this. Let's define what a fractional is.
Mm-hmm.
And we can get into this sort of mindset shift that a consultant has to go through.
Perfect.
So you want to lead us off? Give us the fundamental pieces of what a fractional is. What's the definition?
So for a fractional executive, so the first part of that is you're an executive. Okay. So don't get hung on the fractional word just yet. You're an executive. And as an executive, a C-suite executive in a business is someone who has stake in that organization and the vision and the coming to fruition of the vision of that company.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, you're only fractional, which means you come in and you're there for a while. But when you're there, you're 100% there, vested there, like you've been there forever.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
That's what it means to be fractional. When you have me, you have all of me. But when I'm not here, you don't have me.
Yeah, maybe a week or whatever it may be, right?
Whatever it may be. I set the strategy, I set the vision, we check in the department, we make sure things are moving in the direction that they're supposed to be moving so that the company can hit its ultimate goal.
Yep. Yeah. So you are responsible for outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
You have a vested interest in outcomes. And can be fundamentally different to a consultant.
Yeah.
As a consultant for 2 decades, I would come in, I would develop a strategy or a plan. I would say, there you go, client, good luck. Let me know if you have any questions. But it was their responsibility to execute and own the outcomes.
Yes.
Cool. That does reflect on the quality of my work, but I'm not directly involved in driving the execution. And you mentioned it, Atiba. That's one of the big differences, right? Is that we don't just help develop the strategy and the vision and the plan for that area of the business we have expertise in. We're there to drive outcomes.
Yeah.
Now, and we don't do that by personally pressing all the buttons and twisting all the dials, right?
Actually, we press very few.
Very few. As a CFO, you're not responsible for entering invoices into QuickBooks, right? No, you're responsible for making sure that the financials are up to date.
Yes.
So that's the role. That's a big shift with the consultant. The consultant often is a doer, right? They're doing the thing. As a fractional, remember, executive, to your point, the executives aren't the doers. They're the guiders. They're the mentors. They're the leadership. They're the accountability, right? And that can be a challenging shift for a consultant. I'll add one other thing. We're seeing this concept of fractional executive expand a little bit into fractional leadership. And so I would encourage our audience, if you've got director, senior director, VP experience in corporate, you can still be a fractional. You just wouldn't call yourself a fractional executive. I encourage you to call yourself a fractional leader because there's still space for you to do this thing that you've been doing. You just would report to an executive. So
Gotcha.
we're seeing some expansion there, which I think creates tremendous opportunity for more people in this space.
Yes. Yes. You know, it's great because you get to bring your expertise
Yeah.
and you get to actually have major impact. Because as a consultant, I know I existed like you as a consultant for a lot of years, right? And very often when things go right, consultant gets no credit. When things go wrong, consultant gets all the blame,
Fingers
right?
point, right? Yeah.
And we're the last one to be hired and the first one to be fired in everything, right? And everything is always tenuous. Whereas when you become a fractional, you are now embedded.
Reach out, hit us up on LinkedIn, drop a message below if we can support you in any way. Would love to help you.
He's Dean. I'm Atiba. We're the Fractional Pros. See you next time.
See you next time, guys.